Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to be doing, I think this is part 3 of exposing cheating in Shit Plus games from King's Group, that being Guns of Glory, King of Avalon, Shit on a Shingle, aka State of Survival, zday. And yeah, so let's just jump into this. I was going to show proof that there's 1 billion gold, hacker gold, floating around in the game that they won't do anything about. But you may not believe that, okay? You could say, hey, Revenge, tell us exactly what accounts those are. But that's the whole point. They can't actually figure out who's using extra magic and who's not. But I'm going to die a martyr, so I'll die a martyr and I'll actually be useful doing it. Again, we're going back to conversations I've had with these guys. And here it is. And this is the statement that I just absolutely love. I super love this. I'm like, you knew about it, you didn't do anything. He's like, knew about what? Can't figure out what impossible you're talking about. What hacks? I said, unlimited gold and all the hacks. There's no such things. Servers are protected from those things. It's impossible. And my reply, bullshit. So in the other videos, I've showed you interfaces that people that work for funplus use. And in the other video, I've talked about exposing the cheaters. Now, the elephant in the room is, Revenge, did you do all of this stuff on your main account? And the answer is yes and no. Some of it I did, some of it I didn't. Now, there's a further question. If you did this and you were like, hey, what the is this? Did you actually use it? Did I use it in the game? So I think there's doing something for, let's say, academic or research purposes, like if I push this button, what happens? And then, actually using it and abusing it in the game. And so I'll tell you that I had a whole bunch of naughty stuff in my account, but did I use it and did I abuse it? And the answer is no, I didn't. So we'll get into that in a minute. I want to show you guys something funny though. So if you can do the math, you're going to see that far right-hand column, 190,000 of the 2,000 golds, it adds up to a pretty big number. Okay, let's just call it, for simplicity's sake, 400 million gold. Okay? If you need to take a minute to use a calculator, I'll give you a minute here. But let's just call it 400 million gold. Just for simplicity's sake. Okay? Now, let's see how much gold I have after my ban and getting my account back. And it's no longer there. What happened? I mean, nothing else changed. All they did is delete that column. Okay. So, people are like, wait a second, this could be Photoshopped. No, I'm telling you, this is legit, guys. This is my account, not somebody else's account, not somebody else posted. This is my account that I log into. I had over 400 million of nefarious gold. Let's just call it what it is. And then they banned me and they took it. So if unlimited gold cheats can't exist and the server would detect it, then how come I had it? And not only did I have it, but I've had it for 6 months, maybe longer, just sitting there. I never needed it. I didn't touch it. I mean, you can see I still have, gold. I buy packs and things like this, and the gold just, sits there in the top right-hand corner. Actually, I had a lot more than that before. We're not going to get into that, though. I had like 137 million gold open. We'll not get into that. So you guys were asking me, why are you always hiding my gold? Well, yeah, I had some open. And what I did in order to separate my gold from like experimental, what happens if I do this kind of gold, just legit trying, is I would hide my gold into the black market. And so just tell you how to do that. So all you have to do in the black market is you just do some outrageous bid. So you could bid 137 million gold. So if you accidentally or intentionally or whatever, opened up 137 million of hacker gold, and you didn't want to use it or abuse it, all you had to do is just go into black market, do a bid for 137 million. It would go off of your main balance. You see, because over here you see that I had, all this extra nefarious stuff, but I mean my actual gold balance that I kept was in the top left-hand corner. Wasn't using it. And so if you had extra gold that you just felt that it wasn't fair to use, you could just go hide in black market. And that's what I did. I just do outrageous bids there and it just sit there and I wouldn't use it. So I had like 400 million in my backpack and I had an outrageous amount in black market. And then I also had, gold from buying packs and stuff like this. And in the end of the day, they make comments like, there aren't any such things as this. And that's just totally not true. They absolutely exist. I hope this puts this to rest. That so one of my statements is that there's hackers and cheaters in the game, and that is not a maybe. That is definitive, absolute, and every one of the things that I have done in order to test these things, see if they're real, see if they work on my account. See, this isn't beta. This isn't beta I'm showing you guys. Their cover-up story about beta and stuff like that, that's just bullshit. I can open my account right now and I can show you it is looking like this. And I can tell you before it looked like this. And remember all those times of I can't open my backpack? Now you know why. Because it was sitting there. How the hell do I get rid of it? You do it as just for fun. You just huh? And it works. And you're surprised, and then it just happens over the course of say 6 or 7 months. You hear about things, you're like, okay, well, just screw it, let me try it. Their system doesn't detect it. This reply right here of their system will automatically detect jumping and duplicating and stuff like that. No, absolutely does not. There is zero server-side protection on it. Now, I will tell you this though. After the SH41 fiasco, this is what started this big snowball. So when they banned me on that, and I tell you, my SH41 was legit. I'm super, super duper pissed off about that. So I start throwing stuff in their face in these private conversations. And then it's oh, what? And they start looking into my account and they see this ridiculous, So the original ban was not legit. Then the second ban was, okay, maybe legit. Kind of, sort of. I don't blame them. Now, notice in here that I never cry, oh, you banned me because I'm a cheater, stuff like this. No. I've never said I'm an angel. People who are revenge, you're the last guy who's the perfect example of blah, 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 blah. I'm not the great white hope. I'm sorry to burst your bubble here. But I did my best in order to kind of see what was going on, but also not abuse it. So I'm guilty, but maybe I'm not. I don't know. That's how I played for me, that's how I lived with it. I mean, you want to play with pigs? You go in the mud. And I was definitely in the mud. So I've got some notes for this video, and I'm gonna kind of go down them. I've been skipping them and I've been rambling here for a minute. So here's the deal. We can prove that they can't detect cheating because this gold has been sitting there for months and months and months. So this is fact one. So just fact. Fact two is they didn't do anything about it on my account and maybe other accounts. Actually, I can prove that too. Other accounts until 2 weeks ago. Fact two. Fact three is that the bugs and the interfaces for doing this were entirely open until 2 weeks ago when I threw it in their face. So until it was right in their face, and they're like, oh, snap, we got busted, let's change it, it was entirely open. So from 2017, the day that the game opened until 2 weeks ago, all of this was possible. Okay? These are facts. This isn't like I said this and it's just because Revenge said it's true or something like this. No. So the fact that they're trying to say that the system did, there is no hacks, there is no cheaters in the game, and the system will detect it, that's just false. They are intentionally deceiving you, or they are so stupid and incompetent that it is just magically going on, underneath their nose. I can't tell you which one is true. They're either extremely incompetent, stupid, and they just don't have the tools to detect it, or they're doing it by design because they profit from it. So it's like inactivity. Like if they allow like X to cheat, then Y will spend. So by their inaction, they're profiting from it. It's either one of the two. So they're either profiting from it by their inaction intentionally, or they're magically profiting from it by accident because they're stupid. And I'll tell you, I think these guys are actually pretty smart about making money. So I'm probably going to lean towards, hey, they know that cheating is going on. They can't publicly admit to it. They have policies designed so that, that they benefit from it. And I believe that's the case. Because how else could it possibly be going on since like 2017? And then like literally 2 hours after I threw it in their face, everything was changed. They've never fixed a bug so fast in their life. They couldn't have fixed a bug so fast in their life. The simple truth is that they knew about it, they got caught with their pants down, and they turned it off in a minute. So I'm exposing 400 million of hacker gold in my account alone. Okay, this isn't a maybe. This isn't go look somewhere else talking about my friends, or this guy I used to know, or Uncle Joe's Bob, something like this. This was in my account. Okay? Now, let's take a moment of silence for my gold, please. My gold has died. Okay. Now, let's go down my notes. So, we know that they don't know how to detect it. Okay. So let's go on to the next thing. I know of other people who have done this. And it's not just a few. It's a whole bunch. It's like literally, this is just the tip of the iceberg, guys. A whole bunch. And like, what about them? Okay, we've determined that there's cheating in the game. They've known about it since 2017. They knew about it on my account. Or well, they didn't know about it for 7 months on my account. Now they know about it. Now they get all grumpy. But what about everybody else? Are you telling me that Revenge is the only person to ever cheat in the game? And that I'm the only person to just get punished for it? No. So I've proven that unlimited gold exists. I mean, you can see it literally in front of your eyes here. And they're not doing it. They're not taking action against everybody else. So my whole point was that if you're going to ban me, if you're going to penalize my account, do it universally. That was the whole point. And that's the point of this video, is to expose them from profiting from intentionally, letting some people do it and other people not. If I was Chinese, this wouldn't have been the course of action that they took. The term complicated account would have come up and all this other stuff. And that's my point. They're not universally doing it. They're not going through everybody's account and nerfing stuff and taking things away. And they don't even know how much gold I had. They just left me with an arbitrary amount. They don't know. I mean, I had a pretty good idea of how much legit gold I have. But I can tell you that the idea of how much legit gold I have and how much they left me with, those two numbers don't reconcile. Those two numbers are absolutely, totally not in alignment. And they don't know what's legit and what's not. They just go in their account and they just say, oh yeah, up to us, squish. So this is just like part of it too. What about for all the people who like fought against hackers and cheaters? What about them? So every KVK, when you go in KVK and you're like, wait a second, does this guy cheat or not? I don't know. And should I spend my real money fighting him? Because in 2 weeks, what if he's exposed as a cheater? How would you feel? I know how I felt before when I was fighting cheaters. Seriously, I know how I felt before. I was pissed. I was super duper grumpy, like I'm gonna quit, pissed. And when the cheaters left my kingdom, I know, it sounds ironic at this point. When the cheaters left my kingdom, I actually started spending again. And at that point, I didn't realize how prolific this problem was. But yeah, I started spending again, and I got sucked back into this. And honestly, I spent again partially because of marketing, because I'm making a game. I know I talk about this a lot. And, so it is a marketing cost for me. I wasn't playing the game, for love and passion. I mean, I put 100% into it. So when I play 100%. But my bottom line motivation, people ask me like, well, why do you play or things like this? And it's like, if I didn't make these videos, if I didn't play passionately, you wouldn't see my channel. You wouldn't know I'm making a game, and the whole thing wouldn't come full cycle. And you say, well, wait a second, why are you making a game? I am making a game because I'm a greedy bastard. I want to give people a safe place to go. Fair gaming, not pay to win, no cheating, having systems involved so that there's no bullying, a good social system so that people who aren't toxic and trolling, they're not rewarded for their behavior. Instead, they're actually punished. Karma system, it's pretty simple. I can explain more of it on Discord if you want. Feel free. Getting back to the point. So I hope I've proven beyond a reasonable doubt that they simply allow cheating, and it's just, up to them about how they determine what to do, who to enforce it, how to investigate it. It's entirely discretionary. And so you guys can believe me or not, whether Chinese are prolifically doing it and who is doing it or who's not doing it. It makes no difference to me. But I've at least backed up my statement in saying that there is unlimited gold. This is just a tip, though. If you want to see more, hey, by all means, I can provide more proof. But those interfaces and those things that I showed you before, yeah, just give it a little bit of extra thought. Because when you message support and you say, so-and-so is cheating, what do they really do about that? What do they do about the bot farms? Well, they don't do anything about those, because those are helping fuel this entire system of basically Western people spending money, Chinese cheating, and that's basically how it goes. It's just part of their society. This is what they feel is the right thing to do. So, yeah, getting back to my notes. What's an insider to me? So let's clarify on this, because I think this needs a little bit of clarification. An insider is basically anyone getting special gifts that are non-standard or are not available to everyone else. Now, who they give those gifts to, or they don't give those gifts to, or they're using that interface or they're not using that interface, I can't say definitively. I know that funplus employees have access to that interface. Whether they use that interface to give themselves items or not, I can't comment on that. But I can say I know that they have access to that interface. And I know it's in Chinese. So it's not for like Western people to go in there and use it. It's definitely for Chinese people to go in there and use it. Now, I may not have said that in the last video that I exposed this stuff on. So I'll just give them that in fairness. That interface is maybe only for King of Avalon employees and et cetera, et cetera. They said it's only for beta or global, this test platform. No, it's included in every version of the game. If you download King of Avalon, that interface is hidden. All they have to do is push a button, and it's there and available for people to use. So it's not just a beta-only thing, but it is for insiders and for King of Avalon employees only. So if you tried to use it, it wouldn't work for you. And I just hope I'm clarifying that. Now we go on to the hacker and the cheater stuff, and you can see in front of you that for, 6-7 months, it was just sitting there, and they did nothing about it. I'm sure people have reported me for cheating. I mean, like, whatever they reported me for, and my account was completely ignored because I was spending so much money. So the way that you go about doing cheating in King of Avalon, I guess, is spend some legit money and some hacking, and they'll overlook it until it becomes a point where, the PRC party, political party, gives them a phone call and they say, oh yeah, wait a second, we're going to get grumpy at you. Go look into this guy. So they go look into me, and then, they see this and they ban me and blah, blah, blah. Okay. But that's the whole point. They didn't do anything until somebody just flipped a biscuit and all this other, shit show. So I don't know what else to say. I guess if they promise me that there's no Chinese in King of Avalon or any of their other games getting non-standard gifts or discounts, that's the day that I think they're going to have committed actual consumer fraud, because they haven't actually said in support or in their terms of service or in a system message or anything that there is no Chinese who get special gifts and there is no Chinese that get discounts. And they definitely can't say that there's no Chinese cheaters in the game. They're there, they know they're there, they ignore it. They intentionally don't look, so they're in action, they're profiting from it. That's, I think, the moral of the story and the takeaway from this. Now, what can we do about this? We basically can do nothing. So if you go look at their terms of service, you'll see that their terms of service basically state very clearly a couple of things. One, basically they can do everything they want and it's entirely up to them, and you are just, sucks to be you. So that's the first point. So people are like, you should sue. I'm like, well, sue what? I mean, yeah, I was partially wrong here, but sue what? I can't prove that through their inaction they're profiting. They haven't said that they are or they're not. So they haven't actually lied, technically. So what have they done wrong? Well, through their inaction, they've profited from it, but how do I prove that? You can't prove that. So in terms of lawsuits and stuff like that, stop talking about that, you guys. There's absolutely no legal recourse for this whatsoever. It's their game, their rules, their terms of service. They can do whatever the hell they want, and we have no recourse. The only thing that we can do is we can refund. I believe that this is consumer fraud, and that they are deceiving you. So I don't know if it's fraud or deception or I don't know, but it's a bad word. And I know that they know about this, and through their inaction, they're profiting from it. And it makes the game unplayable to me before, and it definitely makes the game unplayable to me now. And now that I have the proof, okay, so this is before and this is after. Now that I know the proof that they know about it, and that there's other accounts that have done it, and I don't mean just like one or two, I'm talking hundreds of accounts that have done this, and they don't do anything about it, the game is unplayable for me. So you ask me, am I going to come back? And the answer is just no. When they single me out, okay, I don't mind. But again, just my point, am I the only one? And the answer is no. And did they universally take action against everybody else? And the answer is no. And so, I'm gone. Was I spending real money before? Yeah, sure. Tens of thousands of dollars. But, there's just a point when it's just too much. So, and I've just reached that point. That's a personal decision. You have to make your own personal decisions too. So the next time you're playing KVK, think to yourself, oh, yeah, has that guy got unlimited gold before? Yeah, maybe he did. Maybe he didn't. I know for a fact a couple of top players that did. I'm not saying names. I think we can all figure out who those are. So, yeah. I don't know, join my Discord if you want help on getting a refund. There's other people who have done it. Your experience may or may not be similar to theirs. I wish you luck. So if I don't make any more videos on King of Avalon, at least in terms of gameplay, I'm done. I'll probably make tutorial videos hey, do this because it's just so stupid and complicated that, it just needs a tutorial video on it. That's one thing. Don't buy this pack, it's a scam, that type of thing. So I'll probably make those videos, but in terms of KVK and all that other stuff, it's done. I'm over it. So there we go. Love you guys, and have a nice day. Bye-bye.